even a home air conditioning unit sticking out of the rear windows of the back door of the van. Got the aluminum ladder so you can go up on the roof. Although the roof's a little rusty, we don't go up there too much anymore. Don't want that cable. But it's funny, I drove the Good Times Machine van to work today. Could you imagine? That's one thing I noticed from the storm known as Katrina, youngsters. Yeah, almost 20 years ago. Tired of hearing about it. I hear you. It's like this generation's Camille and Betsy. Enough already. That was 20 years ago. One thing it did, wiped out all the old cars in New Orleans. Man, pre-Katrina, you'd see like, what was that Pontiac? Fiero, that plastic thing driving around, the Fiero, you'd see a few of those. Peugeots and Renaults and other just weird old cars tooling around New Orleans. All flooded out, all gone. All of a sudden, poof, everybody's driving new vehicles. Tuesday afternoon edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. A big cha-ching on this Tuesday. Miss Peach is at the controls. The corporal must be out and about getting saluted and the like. Miss Peaches says, they salute me. They toss me that pack of Misties from behind the counter, and then the store clerk salutes me. Hey, Miss Peaches, I got a question. When you're picking up those Misties, my store guy, my Circle K time saver type guy, whatever, convenience store guy, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, what's up, man? Living the dream. I'm like, wow. I almost want to stop for a second, pull up like a director's type chair, one of those bar stool type chairs, and pull up to the counter and lean my elbow on it and be like, what's the dream for the guy behind the counter at the 7-Eleven? I'm just curious. When you live in the dream, I love the attitude. Just like, this is the dream. I mean, maybe I've got it all wrong. Maybe I need the behind the counter at the Circle K. I was thinking, that's kind of maybe a low maintenance job. You just sort of punch in, punch out, do your job, not a big deal. But then, someone spills the coffee, people come in drunk. I don't know if it's you get robbed. Anyway, he's living the dream. When you're picking up those Misties, your guy living the dream over there, Miss Peaches. Miss Peaches says, whatever makes him happy, just give me my smokes. All right. Good enough. On sale. Yeah. What's that, Miss Peaches? You don't smoke Misties. You smoke whatever's the cheapest. I got you. 2 packs for $5, whatever you can get. No name brand. I hear you. No, cigarettes are expensive. I got some friends that smoke. I see them smoking the Marlboros. I'm looking at that $7-8 a crack. I'm thinking to myself, there's no 25-cent cigarettes on the street anymore, are they? I mean, the singles, if it's $8 for 20, a single must be at least like 75 cents. What do they call that is it a square? Is it a square? Can you Google that for us, Miss Peaches? Is a single cigarette sold on the street known as a square? A square. Yeah, I think in big cities, in kind of urban areas, yes. I would think you can find single cigarettes for sale somewhere in New Orleans, no doubt. Orleans Parish. I don't know specifically where. 7th, 8th, 9th Ward, Central City. I have no clue. But I think singles are. I bet if you go out to Kenner, I bet in the Latino neighborhood, definitely someone's selling some singles. Definitely. I think they're known as a square. I might have that wrong. I'm not a tobacco user. I tried for a little while. Is it a square? A Lucy? Huh? Yeah, that makes sense. A loose, a single. Not a square, huh? I smoked for about a month at LSU, I guess. I'd just be drinking out with friends. They smoked. They'd have this pack of cigarettes in their top pocket. I'd end up bumming a smoke off of them, I guess. And then I was bumming more smokes off of them. Then I'm bumming smokes off of them sober. And they're like, dude, go buy your own pack. And then I remember I woke up one day, took a shower, smoked a cigarette on the way to class. and was in my class and kind of put my hand up on my nose and I could smell that cigarette smell. And I was like, Corey, there's your future right there. You want that? You want the car, the house, your hand, your clothes. You want to be a cigarette smoker? And then would put it over the top. I just looked around that room I was in, that classroom. It might have been geology, room 130. That seats about 400. You can enter from the second floor in the back. Big auditorium. I think I looked around at all the ladies, all the chickadees, and said, do I just want to, I'm eliminating a certain percentage already that have no interest in me by, just the natural selection process. Do I need to add something to that? So I figured I'll 86 the cigarette smoking. And right then and there, I said, no more cigarettes. Yep. I could have been on like a 40-year binger on those things by now. Seriously. It would have been close, 35, if I would have just hung with it, by golly, and tens of thousands of dollars. Yep. That's like, I'm trying not to drink Coca-Cola anymore. I probably had a Coke, maybe a single 12-ounce Coke, the equivalence of that, probably in the last few months, just a few little sips, whatever, yeah. But you think about, okay, just pretend land. I'm drinking 3 Cokes a day. Let's just say I'm buying them on the cheap. They're still like $1.50, $2 a day. Let's just say I'm getting them on the cheap, $2. And you're really not, because sometimes you just want one and you're paying $2 for a single one. So let's call it $3 a day. Times 7 days, that's 21. We'll round it up down, $20 a week. That's $80 a month. That's over $1,000 a year in Coca-Cola. Or sorry, you want to be exact, $960 in Coke at $3 a day. 900. Hey, Miss Peaches, I got $1,000 a year Coke habit. No, Coca-Cola, Coke Zero, and I am the zero. No, it's just crazy. And then there are people going, wow. And the same thing applies. I mean, I got a buddy who does his own coffee now because he's like, Starbucks is $6 a day. Times 7, Corey, 40 a week, 160 a month. I'm spending $2,000 a year on coffee. I'm spending $2,000 a year on coffee. So, what was that? The old Quicken pie chart back in the day that broke down every single, I know it still exists, but I mean, originally they kind of started that thing on the old computer gimmick, the old 286, like 20, 30 years ago. That looking at that pie chart, you just say, that's my life. My life's that pie chart. Yikes. But I guess you can, get rid of Coca-Cola and M&Ms and stuff. And I save $2,000 a year, not eating M&Ms and drinking Coke, like $1,500 a year. Wow. Later in the program, Miss Peaches pushes me out into oncoming traffic. Stick around for that. Jeff Landry, 0 for 2 on this one, I'd say, like 0 for 2. He favors legislation now where scholarship student athletes that aren't in attendance for the pregame national anthem could get their scholarship revoked. He must have been checking out LSU Iowa last night, and the national anthem's being played, and there's the Iowa team out on the court. But Kim Mulkey's Tigers are nowhere to be seen. So right away, Jeff Landry's like, where are they? What's up? Where's the LSU basketball Tiger team? Interesting details on that when we return. Time for all college boards. Put a policy in place that student athletes must be present for the national anthem or risk their scholarship. Really? So interesting. I just can't help but think about that thing called First Amendment. I don't know. Apparently, with 12 minutes before tip-off, Kim Mulkey brings her team into the locker room. It's kind of the regular deal. It wasn't kind of the player's choice or a protest, but not really important, I guess, to Governor Jeff Landry. Hey, are you tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best in the business? Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, manless locker locations. It's easy. YoungsDryCleaning.com. YoungsDryCleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. This was a tweet from our governor, Jeff Landry. My mother coached women's high school basketball during the height of desegregation. No one has a greater respect for the sport and for Coach Mulkey. However, above respect for that game is a deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag. It is time that all college boards, including Regent, put a policy in place that student athletes be present for the national anthem or risk their athletic scholarship. This is a matter of respect that all collegiate coaches should instill. That's what Jeff Landry writes. I don't get the deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us. How is the military injected into the national anthem? How is the military injected into the national anthem? Like you're disrespecting the military. And that's if there's like someone protesting or that kind of thing. There wasn't a protest. When I read that, my reply was, talk about government intervention. Hey, governor, slow down your roll. This isn't North Korea. No one has to stand or sing the national anthem unless they want to. That's the great thing about America. Try to understand how our country works, not just what you like. And I'm pro-national anthem. That's also just something that Major League Baseball started, I believe, after World War II. Might have even been during World War II. And other pro sports leagues and college teams and other events picked up on it. But it's not required reading. It's not part of being an America or a patriot that you have to be there. And it's fine for those that do stand, sing it, hand on heart, respect it. I'm not saying they're like over the top or geeky or dorks or any of that either. That's me. I'm standing. I don't know if my hand's on my heart. Maybe it is sometimes. If I sing the national anthem, I have nothing against it. But we aren't North Korea. That's the beauty of our country, especially if someone's upset with the country. Hell, there was a group on January 6th that stormed the Capitol, went over the top, way over the top. A lot of those folks are the ones complaining about this, because a lot of this is that. It's political posturing by Governor Jeff Landry. That's all it is. It's placating, appeasing his base, giving them exactly what they want, fodder, what they want. They love it. They love it. 3 of the 4 teams that played last night in the Elite 8 games, half the Elite 8 games, 3 of the 4 teams weren't present for the national anthem. Kim Mulkey, apparently 12 minutes till tip-off, pulls her team into the locker room. It has no clue when the national anthem's being played. She's supposed to now figure that out, and if a player's getting taped up and someone notices, she has to report that they were getting taped up, and then that would have to be approved. But this is the most insane idea. It just goes to show how quick Jeff Landry reacts to things, and then this is the reaction. This is what you get. This is ready, fire, aim. This is all on him. He saw it last night. He tweeted. He just thought it was brilliant, and it's insane. It's not enforceable. It's ridiculous. And then this is the crazy part. It wasn't a player choice. Kim Mulkey, 12 minutes ago, let's go, team. It wasn't a protest. And then so let's say it was. Not a protest, or was a protest. Chose not to be there for the anthem, something more important to do. I don't get what the big deal is. And don't assume for a second like Jeff Landry injecting the military in there, like it's some 110% consensus that the military stands with Jeff Landry on this. I bet you there's a large percentage of the military that say, you damn right. And then there's a equally large, if not larger percentage of the military that would say, well, I'm not here for, telling a student athlete they've got to stand for the anthem. I'm not here to enforce patriotism. That seems like something that has to be organic, naturally. As an American, you just either get it or you don't. And either way is fine. We're not going to force it down your throat. No, Jeff Landry is 0 for 2 on this one. He favors legislation where scholarship student athletes that aren't in attendance for pregame national anthem could have their scholarship revoked. And he thinks it was like a player choice, like a protest or something. Doesn't get that that's how Kim Mulkey does it. That's how Kim Mulkey does it. And then what I don't get is, I mean, think about when you get, oh boy. I think you just knocked something out. Unplugged something. Anyway, when you choose to stand for the national anthem or not, it's your call. This isn't North Korea. You're not forced to stand for the national anthem. I don't see why this concept's so hard. And I'm all for the national anthem. I don't get it. Well, I do get it. I think Jeff Landry just sort of thinks that way. What he wants is what he wants. And that's how it is. And the scary thing is, like, Jeff Landry is hyper-religious. And for me, I'm Catholic. I'm Christian. Jesus is my God. That's my faith. That's my choice, my faith. His may be the same. His may be different. Whatever his faith is, I don't want that pushed on everybody. That you start getting like this, religious push from government. You start getting this stand for the national anthem stuff for government, or you lose your scholarship. No, that sounds more like China, North Korea, Iran, countries like that than the United States. So no, I'd say 0 for 2. Just totally missed it on this one. But a lot of folks just stand behind it because they like the simple concept, standing for the national anthem. Who's against that? But you got to think beyond that. That's what makes America great. That's freedom isn't easy. People have choices. Maybe you have to think about something that you just terribly hated during that America was doing. I would still not, I'd always stand for the national anthem. I hear you. Some people are different. Some people are different. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. A Republican rep up in D.C., a bill to rename Dulles Airport after Donald Trump. All right, that's just not going to happen. We can discuss it, 766-9480. Don't have the votes, don't have the Senate. Probably don't have the votes in the House, even with certain Republicans. But I do like great names of buildings, public buildings. Give me the best name of a public building. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Louisiana's got a trio of great public buildings. We're good, Miss Peaches. So on. A trio just right off the bat. Eddie Robinson Stadium, Grambling's home stadium. It's as good as it gets. Louis Armstrong International Airport. That's as good as it gets. What a great name. Pete Maravich Assembly Center. As good as it gets. I hate to tell you, Tiger fans, you heard Charles Landry last week and Cody Warsham on the show talking about what now could be a $400 million new arena for LSU athletics. $400 million. It ain't going to be called the PMAC. The Pete Maravich Assembly Center will remain the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. But it won't be the new building won't be called the PMAC. And I don't know if the new building will be Sue Gunter, Sue Gunter Dale Brown Court. Because that's the court at the PMAC. And the PMAC has, believe it or not, because it's 50 plus years old. I mean, anything in America 50 plus years old, I guess, has historic, not value, but you can get historic tax credits and the like. They're not going to implode or blow up the PMAC. They're going to reuse it into something else. Hey, how about a new library? How about a new library for LSU? Anyway, no, that name will stay with that building, and the new LSU arena will not have Pete Maravich's name connected to it. That's kind of a bummer. At least that's the plan right now. Maybe they'll connect it somehow with the Quaker Oats Pete Maravich LSU Pavilion. I don't know. But right now they don't. 766-9480. 766-9480. You come up with a really good, real name building like Pete Maravich Assembly Center, I'll give you 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Milwaukee Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, the magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Last night, the LSU Lady Tigers in the Elite Eight lose to Caitlin Clark and Iowa. But the big story, or bigger story, Governor Jeff Landry, he favors legislation now within 12 hours where scholarship student athletes that aren't in attendance for the pregame national anthem could lose their scholarship. Talk about government intervention, huh? Governor Landry, slow down your roll a little bit. See, this is what's scary about Governor Landry. Ready, fire, aim. Just very emotional, not very logical. It's crazy. He has a law degree. He's the governor. He's the former attorney general. You think you'd understand these basic concepts of America. No, it's not North Korea. No one has to stand or sing the national anthem unless they want to. Period. End of story. No exceptions. No way to force people. That's it. It's the United States of America. It's not North Korea. No one has to stand or sing the national anthem unless they want to. And that's the great thing about America. That's our strength. We're not North Korea or China or Iran. Do it or face this firing squad. You complain about Putin and Russia, you go to jail. It's part of the First Amendment. Try to understand how our country works, Governor. Not just what you like, what you think is important. I like the national anthem too. I like Jesus. Those are all. I'm not trying to force Jesus on everyone, and I'm not trying to make everyone stand during the national anthem and sing like I do. Someone that doesn't put their hand on the heart in doing it right. Someone that doesn't sing loudly and passionately in doing it right. I mean, what's the level? It's crazy talk. It's un-American. And it's kindergarten thinking. And the worst part, I'm assuming he's watching. Where's LSU? Where's the team? Is someone protesting? Where's the team? Apparently, with 12 minutes till tip-off, Kim Mulkey brings her team into the locker room. Today, she's like, I'm oblivious to where the national anthem's being played. Have no idea. She's not even concerned with that. She's concerned about the task at hand, the game. You remember when in France and Britain would fight, they'd have a band in front with flags, and then they stopped doing that formality. They just fought when they were in a battle. She's got a game coming up. Got to go out for the national anthem. It's mandatory in America. You can't miss it. And then just say Jeff Landry's plan gets implemented and it's mandatory. What if some player's getting their ankle taped up? Like there's got to be a doctor's note later when someone goes, hey, I know, Jane Doe wasn't out there during the national anthem. Where was she? Protesting? No, she's getting her ankle taped up. Okay, going to need the doctor's note on that one. Just really crazy. Time for all college boards, put a policy in place that student athletes must be present for the national anthem or risk their scholarship. Why? Why? And the tweet is insane because he implements the military into it, which I just don't get at all. Honestly, I don't understand the bringing the military into the national anthem. And by the way, it's like people that assume the military is all conservative and all military folks are for folks standing during the national anthem. First off, the military is very diverse. Conservative, liberal, black, white, gay, straight, all kinds of folks, all kind of thinking. I'll be in here for life. Can't wait for this to be over with. Everybody in between. But the military isn't about the national anthem. I mean, just this crazy rant on Twitter by Jeff Landry. My mother coached women's high school basketball during the height of desegregation. No one has a greater respect for the sport and for Coach Mulkey. I don't know, the height of desegregation. What's that got to do with anything? It's sort of code like, don't think I'm lashing out because it's a predominantly black LSU team. I mean, he's almost like guilty before he starts. Why would you inject desegregation into that? However, above respect for that game is a deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag. If you ask Kim Mulkey that, she'd be like, I got a game. You're talking about the national anthem. And now you're telling me I'm disrespecting our armed fighting, soldiers, our military, the U.S. military. That's what you're telling me. I'm disrespecting the military. Just absolutely crazy. My mother coached women high school basketball during the height of desegregation. Why inject that? No one has a greater respect for the sport and for Coach Mulkey. However, above the respect for that game is a deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag. It's mind-blowing. It really is. And spaghetti and meatballs. I mean, I don't. What's your point? Now, here's the sad part. A lot of folks are like, I get that point. Yes. But just think through it for a second. We're not children. We're not children. You can't just hear something for a second or two, decide to not think about it anymore, and just embrace it as I'm for that, and that's great. How can anyone be against not standing for the national anthem? Well, it's the First Amendment, and it's the United States of America, not North Korea. And no one's forced. There's no law or rule, thank God, and there should never be, where you must stand before a sporting event when they're playing the national anthem and sing along or stand, show respect for the national anthem. That is insane. That's what Iran, China, North Korea do, not America. You can be disgruntled. You can be oblivious. You could be getting a beer. You could be in the bathroom. You could be like, I don't feel like standing up. You could be doing a bunch of different things. I choose to stand during the anthem. That's my choice. But that's the great thing about America. What I like isn't what everyone likes, and what Jeff Landry likes isn't what everyone likes. It's time for college boards to put a policy in place that student athletes be present for the national anthem or risk their athletic scholarship. This is a matter of respect that all collegiate coaches should instill. It's insane. Respect for what? The national anthem? Crazy. What do you think? 766-9480. Hey, don't get scared or, wow, I see this guy's view. He's got a strong opinion. I'm vehemently opposed to Corey's opinion. Then voice it. 766-9480. 766-9480. A Republican House bill. It's not going to get passed. It probably won't pass in the House. And it definitely won't pass in the Senate. Rename Dulles Airport after Donald Trump. But it got me thinking about best named buildings, and locally we got a bunch. I mean, Louis Armstrong International Airport is a world-class name. Seriously. It's so applicable. It totally represents New Orleans. You know, the world knows Louis Armstrong. It's just that there's no better name for the airport here. And it's just a cool name, Louis Armstrong International. I mean, Louis Armstrong was cool. And what he represented and just the talent and a native. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great name. It's world-class name, and it's as good as it gets. Now, it's smaller because it may not be known around the world, but around the country, it's great. Eddie Robinson Stadium, one of the greatest college coaches in the history of the game, the maker of men, thousands and thousands of men. Eddie Robinson Stadium, how cool is that? And we even made an exception of the rule in Louisiana. Have to be dead for something to be named after you. Main exception, named it while Eddie Robinson was alive. Passed a law, an exception to the law, and that was smart. Pete Maravich Assembly Center, that is so cool. Pete Maravich Assembly Center. The PMAC. That even has a great ring to it. It's not going bye-bye. It's actually the opposite. It'll be, I guess, if and when LSU opens this $400 million arena in like 5 years, the PMAC will be, I don't know, new library, coaches' offices, practice facility. It's going to be reconfigured, reworked, reused, repurposed. But I'm sure it'll still remain the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. And I'm pretty certain, I hope I'm wrong, but it appears the new arena will have a paying naming rights deal, and it will not include Pete Maravich. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the Quaker Oats Pete Maravich LSU Pavilion. But I think it's going to be the Quaker Oats Pavilion and not Pete Maravich's name, and maybe not even LSU's name on it. Who knows? Someone's going to pay for those naming rights. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, is hiring. Go to their website, latrim.com. Latrim is spelled Laitram. They've got dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs on that website, latrim.com. Not 2 or 3 jobs, like 50 plus. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you, right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday afternoon. Thanks so much for checking out the program each and every day. 2 big hours, 4 to 6 o'clock. We take you home in style. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. 93.9 FM. New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. I love this little AM signal. Glad to have it. 600 AM from like Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida. All up and down the I-10, I-12 corridor, you North Shore folks, 600 AM. You can always check us out via the smartphone, laptop, tablet, pad, etc. The home computer. CoreyTalks.com, our website, live streaming there, including YouTube. You can go to YouTube, YouTube TV, YouTube Live, go to the search bar, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Check out the program on YouTube. Some of you folks that are watching on TV statewide, we only cover the first 90 minutes of the 2-hour program. 4 to 6 on the radio, 4 to 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 statewide and Spectrum Channel 333 statewide. We might be in the middle of a good conversation, good interview. 5:30 hits, boom, we're off the air. For you watching on Cox Channel 4, Spectrum 333, you always can check us out on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. K-double-A-R-E. Jeff Landry favors legislation. Just really crazy. He's watching LSU Iowa last night. National Anthem's cranking up. I guess he's standing up in his own den with his hand on his heart, holding his wife's hand, and they're standing up, and the kid's standing up, and the dog is standing up. He's watching on TV, and he's like, where's the LSU Lady Tigers? I don't know. You must not watch a lot of LSU Lady Tiger basketball because they're never there for the national anthem, ever. Because 12 minutes before tip-off, Kim Mulkey has a game plan that she's going through in the locker room. That's her routine. Unaware when the national anthem plays. She's out there and they play it, they'll stand. If they're not, they're not. And they're not. And Jeff Landry's like, where are they? Is it player protest? Is player choice? So, and it wasn't. It's a coach's choice. It's Kim Mulkey's choice. But he puts it on the players. He favors legislation where scholarship student athletes that aren't in attendance for the pregame national anthem could lose that scholarship. It's mind-blowing. It's crazy. Beyond illogical, irrational. Ready, fire, aim mentality. It wasn't a player's choice. It wasn't a protest. Time for all college boards to put a policy in place that student athletes must be present for the national anthem or risk their scholarship. Ready, fire, aim. Jeff Landry, watching last night, goes off on a tweet, talks about integration, because maybe he's like, oh boy, this LSU women's team's a lot of black players. They might think it's a racist thing. Let me make sure that's not the case. So he injects integration into it, which makes no sense. And then the military into it, which again makes no sense, not applicable. But people that want to hear what they want to hear, what they want to believe, left or right, they're going to embrace it. Yeah. Who's against standing for the national anthem? That's it. But, you know, American freedom, it's not that simple. It's not just that's it. And there's a lot more to it than that's it. Every game, 12 minutes to go before tip-off, Kim Mulkey and her squad head to the locker room. Jeff Landry's just oblivious and doesn't ask anyone or consult anyone or figure out what's going on. There were 2 Elite 8 games, 4 teams playing. 3 of the 4 teams, only Iowa. USC, UConn, they weren't out for the national anthem either. So silly. And just anti-America, anti-First Amendment. That's the beauty of America. We're not forced to stand and sing the national anthem. Isn't that great? Most of you out there are for it and do it. I stand up and sing it. That's our choice. Beautiful thing is, you don't have to stand. I honestly, I would be more offended someone wearing a hat inside of a restaurant or a baseball cap if I'm in a restaurant than I would be at an arena and someone's not singing the national anthem. I would clearly notice the person in a restaurant wearing a hat or baseball cap inside at a fine dining restaurant. I would notice that way before I would notice folks not singing the national anthem. Just Jeff Landry, political nonsense, placating and appeasing his base, and they eat it up. They like it. Damn right. Student athletes getting a free ride to play sports, they should stand during the national anthem, like period, end of story. Public university, they should stand during the national anthem. No, you got it backwards. Private university may be pushed to stand during the national anthem. Can have prayer, can do all kind of stuff. Public university, no, it's a public university. That's the whole point. There's no rule or law before sporting events that the national anthem needs to be played. It isn't a law. No legislation was ever enacted. Major League Baseball picked up on that. They just decided to do it. I believe it was during World War II or right after World War II. We're going to play the national anthem. Promote America. Before every ball game, take a little pause. Other sports leagues have picked up on it. That's all. It's not a law. It's not a prerequisite. Doesn't mean you're a patriot if you do it or not. 766-9480. Let's talk about it. I know you got an opinion. 5 o'clock powwow was next. That's Blue Boy. He's saying in dog language, stick around. We got a lot to discuss. Don't move. Thanks, Blue Boy. You're right.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. Then we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Well, we're moving on now. We're moving on up to
Yes. That one dry cleaner I started, I've now got 40, an entire chain of dry cleaners. I am moving on up to the east side. Corey Johnson with you. Got a high-rise apartment up in the sky. Taking my turn at bat. Beans can burn on the grill. Just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big league, taking our swing at bat. It is indeed New Orleans. Thank you, Mr. Drew Brees. That's number 9 with the intro. Future Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees. Thank you so much for that. On a Tuesday afternoon, pretty nice weather day. We had a little misty rain earlier in some parts of the metro. Misty rains. That's a nickname of someone in the metro area, believe it or not. Misty Rains, his nickname. Anyway, that's for a whole other program. Pretty nice weather. Tomorrow, into like Saturday, really nice. Little Coolio and the gang front coming through. Wake up tomorrow morning, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning, high 50s, mid to high 50s. Yeah, you're right. Lots of 60s. Might creep into the 70s over the next 4 days. I like the waking up in the 50s thing because boys and girls, in about 3 weeks or so, it's all in the rearview mirror for 6 straight months. We won't see it again till October. Any of you folks complain, a little cold this morning. Go put on another layer. Embrace it because it's going to be a little hot and humid for 6 straight months. We'll be dreaming of this weather in a month or two. Big time. So get out and enjoy it. Jeff Landry must have been checking out LSU Iowa last night. Before tip-off, national anthem being played, Iowa was on the court, no LSU team. The governor kind of freaked out a little bit, kind of lost it, I guess. Felt compelled to post something on Twitter. Basically, stand and sing or at least be present for the national anthem. My mother coached women's high school basketball during the height of desegregation. No one has a greater respect for the sport and for Coach Mulkey. However, above respect for that game is a deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag. All right, just that first paragraph. This is about LSU's team not being present while the national anthem was being played prior to last night's tip-off. Apparently, with 12 minutes to go before tip-off, Kim Mulkey's team goes to the locker room. That's their routine. They're never out there if the national anthem is being played within 12 minutes of tip-off, and it always is. So they're never get there for the national anthem. There was another game last night, USC and UConn. Those two teams weren't in attendance for the national anthem either, only Iowa. But Jeff Landry ignored that and still tweeted this out. My mother coached women's high school basketball during the height of desegregation. I don't even understand the desegregation line. Why is that injected into that? Why not my mother coached women's high school basketball? I respect the game. During the height of desegregation, it yells. This is from him, not me. It yells that Jeff Landry's concerned that his criticism will be taken as a criticism of the mostly black team that is LSU's women's team. That's my only explanation, because what is the point of injecting that? My mother coached women's high school basketball during the height of desegregation. I don't know what that means. I understand the black player. What does it mean? No one has a greater respect for the sport and for Coach Mulkey. However, above respect for that game is there deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag. What does the military and the flag have to do with Kim Mulkey's team being in the locker room when the national anthem was being played, like USC and UConn were last night? It's not a protest. It's not even a player's choice. That's what makes this legislation he favors. It's time that all college boards put a policy in place that student athletes be present for the national anthem or risk their athletic scholarship. I just don't get any of this. First Amendment, national anthem. This is America. There's no law requiring before a sporting event everyone has to stand, sing along, be present for the national anthem. This wasn't legislation. This isn't a law. We're not North Korea, China, or Iran. It's not forced upon it. Patriotism isn't forced upon us. That's the great thing about America. America, freedom, First Amendment. Patriotism's an organic thing. It just is naturally created. You can't force it down people's throat. You must be present for the national anthem. No, that's the great thing about America. You don't have to be present for the national anthem. It's not a law. It's not a requirement. Major League Baseball did it like during or after World War II. Other pro sports leagues and college teams before games picked up on that tradition. That's all it is, a tradition. And if it were anything else, we would be North Korea or the Soviet Union or China or Iran. Speak out against Putin, you go to jail. That's not how America works. And Jeff Landry doesn't get it. The coach made the decision. You're going to penalize the student athlete? And then what happens if even your goofy legislation goes into play? Some students getting taped up in the locker room. They're going to be like, where's Jane Doe? And then you're going to have a doctor's note, or she could lose her scholarship. Just beyond silly. Ready, fire, aim. No, just emotional from the gut. This guy's an attorney. Was the AG in the state, the number one attorney in the state. Supposed to understand the law and basic concepts of America, and just doesn't get it. That's the beauty of America. I mean, talk about Jeff Landry and big government and government intervention. No, slow down your roll, Governor. This isn't North Korea. No one has to stand or sing, be present for the national anthem unless they want to. That's the great thing about America. Try to understand how our country works, not just what you like. It's like a kindergarten concept. It's simple. No, he's 0 for 2 on this one. Favors legislation where student athletes that aren't present for the pregame national anthem could lose their scholarship. This was a Kim Mulkey choice. She does it 12 games before every tip-off. Brings the team into the locker room to get them ready for the game. They asked her about it afterwards or today. She had no idea when the national anthem's being played. Didn't seem concerned about it in the least bit. Does that mean Kim Mulkey doesn't love America, isn't a patriot against the armed services, armed forces? No, that crazy line, instead of my mother coached high school basketball, my mother coached high school basketball during the height of desegregation. Why did he say that? Because if you're Jeff Landry and, hey, I'm throwing something out to placate and appease my base, don't want this misinterpreted that, boy, this LSU team, which is, there's Van Lith, there's like one or two backup players on the bench that never see the court that are white. Otherwise, it is pretty much an entirely black team. Who cares? Iowa was the opposite, almost all white. Who cares? It's irrelevant. But Jeff Landry apparently cares because for some reason my mother coached women high school basketball during the height of desegregation. What compelled him to put that line into play? Guilt or trying to justify what he's about to say, and then injecting, I have a deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag. What's the military got to do with this? Just crazy. But here's the funny part. Facts and logic don't matter. His base is like, you damn right. Who's against standing for the national anthem? Period. End of story. Nothing else applies. That's it. It's all encompassing. It covers everything. That's nice. I like that. I wish life were that simple, where you didn't have to think through anything. You could just kind of be like a child and just whatever feels good. Forget about facts and logic or thinking a little bit further into it. Just, Noah, that thought sounds good that Jeff Landry said. Who's against the national anthem? Our military? You know, who's against our military? And then you're just off on a tangent. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, you right.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Senate Bill 220 up in Baton Rouge. It would allow law enforcement to impound vehicles used in drag racing, drifting, or similar acts. Just passed out of a Senate committee. So that could go to the Senate floor and pass, could go over to the House side, pass over there, and then it could become law. I think we need to take it even a step further. Now, the car would be impounded for 30 days to, quote, collect evidence at the owner's expense. And then they might be eligible to get the vehicle back. But there might be other things involved. Illegal firearms, drugs, whatever. No, I think it's brilliant. I think the tinted window law, there's a tint level that you can legally put on your vehicle. It's mind-blowing that the tint places sell a tint that's darker than legal, and put it on vehicles. It seems like if it's a Louisiana registered vehicle with a Louisiana tag, license plate, you can't put that tint on that vehicle by law. How many vehicles do you see where the tint's too dark? They're all over the city, all over the place. I'm letting people in traffic. I wave to let them in. I'm like, I don't even know if they're acknowledging me. I can't even see a human being in the vehicle. The tint law would be real easy. First offense is a ticket, pretty hefty, like $250, $225. You're breaking the law. You're breaking the law. It wasn't an accident that the tint was too dark. You get, pulled over again, and they look up your license. Like, dude, 6 months ago you got a ticket for the tint being too dark, and you didn't fix it. Now your ticket's $1,000. And then 3 strikes, you're out. Impound the car. Seize the vehicle. This is a vehicle that not once, not twice, but 3 times breaking the law, continues to break the law, refuses to make the simple, inexpensive change and peel the tint away. So impound that vehicle. The 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers riding on public streets, golf carts, impound these vehicles right away. It's against the law for a golf cart to be in on New Orleans public street. It's against the law for a 3-wheeler, a 4-wheeler to be on a New Orleans public street. Just take the vehicle. You want to know where a 4-wheeler or a 3-wheeler can be on a New Orleans street? Not even really on a street. Coming off your truck trailer, going into your garage or your backyard, into your property. Can't go tool it around the street. No, this is simple. Yeah, folks drag racing, the drifting. No, take the car. That's an easy one. That's a no-brainer. That's simple. Senate Bill 220 passed a Senate committee. No, they amended the bill. It would permit 30-day impoundment to gather evidence at the owner's expense. For the tint, I wouldn't even do that. The tint would be 3 strikes, you're out. It could take a few years to pull somebody over for dark tint. No, first strike, steep, few $100. Second one, north of 1,000. Third, seizing the vehicle. Here you go. No, you're not under arrest. Here, I'm just taking the key to the car. and you can leave where your vehicle's now owned by the city of New Orleans, by the citizens of New Orleans. It's like the tire dumping in New Orleans East for like a few $1,000. I'm not talking like 10 grand, like a few grand, $2,500. You could put up like a half dozen GoPro type cameras that have a battery pack and a little solar panel. So they're powered up during the day. They'd run at night on a battery, and the battery would charge up during the day, and even motion detecting. So when some 18-wheeler rolls in and they're dumping all those tires illegally, that alarm goes off. And the cops either get down there immediately and get that truck, or they got cameras on the interstate. They follow the truck, and state troopers are pulling the truck and seizing the truck. Illegally dumping tires in New Orleans is illegal, and we'll seize your 18-wheeler and the trailer if you do it. They have folks coming in from other states dumping tires. Literally. Coming from Tennessee and Alabama. Man, you can go to New Orleans, even paying for all the diesel. We figured it out. If you bring 1,000 tires, to dispose them costs you $1. Go dump them in New Orleans. Here, it's costing $5 a tire. Want to save $4? Go dump them in New Orleans. Me shoot exit. You'll see. Just get off, hook a left, boom. You'll see all the tires. No, these things are like simple. I was talking about the fuel card, the abuse of the city fuel card. The IG did a investigation and found exactly what I was talking about. Abuse of the fuel cards, city fuel cards. It's 2024. City take-home vehicles. Today's modern GPS, and you can mileage, how much gas was used, everything, where they're going. There should be no take-home vehicle abuse either, not in 2024, not with this technology. Corey Johnson with you. The thing that scares me about the drifting especially, like some jerks at the bottom of the high-rise. You're coming over the high-rise, you're doing like 50, all of a sudden it's a bottleneck because some jerk's drifting over the 3, 4, 5 lanes of the interstate, blocking the entire interstate. Somebody in like a truck with like a big badass bumper, it's just going to go ram that vehicle. It's going to just go ram that vehicle. Maybe even act like, hey, I was trying to go around. The drifter came in. I plowed into him. And then all of a sudden you got 2 vehicles. You might have people armed, some kind of gunfight. I mean, people don't like traffic and being delayed. And that's sort of part of life. But when it's being done deliberately, like someone drifting or someone protesting and they're going to block the interstate, that's just dangerous. You know, someone's going to run you over or shoot you. I'm not saying they're right, but you're wrong by blocking the interstate. No, and people that are drifting doing that, it's just like, I'm nervous. Like, man, somebody with a short temper, road rage type thing and packing heat, just going to go ram that drifting vehicle. And then who knows what's going to happen after that. Gasson Corbin, director of the Sewage and Water Board, called the proposed recovery district for 2 years terribly distracting and destructive. I'm all for help from all levels of government where we ask for it and we can use it. But that concept seems very destructive. That's Gasson Corbin, director of the Sewage and Water Board. All of this is beyond his control. I don't think his job actually is in jeopardy. I don't think anyone reviewing the Sewage and Water Board thinks he's part of the problem. The opposite. He is part of the solution right now and ultimately could be part of the solution in the future. But that's his take on it. We got to get him on the program to discuss it. Boy, UConn, men and women in the Final Four. NC State, men and women in the Final Four. How cool would it be to be a UConn or NC State basketball fan? Both your men and women's teams are both in the Final Four. That's amazing. LSU won't be in that number. Iowa's in there. Caitlin Clark, amazing. I said it yesterday. I was like, you're not going to stop Caitlin Clark. She's going to jack up threes from all over, in between top of the key and the half-court circle, all over the place. NBA threes. And that is exactly what happened. I was like, but you need her to be, 6 of 18. You need her to be 30%, 25%, not 45, 50%. She was like 9 of 18, 9 of 19, 46, 47% from three. She had 41 points. So if she makes like 6 threes, 7 threes instead of 9, LSU probably wins the ball game. They needed all of her 41 points. They won 94-87. Now, I never felt this LSU team, including last night, was just clicking on all cylinders ever in the season. Ever. Lots of talent, great team, great coaching, great athletes, a tight group of girls, women that love each other and care for each other. I think all of that. I just don't know if all 5 starting parts, key backup parts, all seamlessly integrated into a finely oiled machine. That's just an observation. Still watched them, cheered for them, liked watching them. The future looks ridiculously bright. But boy, Caitlin Clark, just insane. Just quick trigger release, jacks it up from all over the place. Plus the assists, just the vision of the court and the assists. I tweeted that Caitlin Clark could play on college men's teams, some college men's teams, and had some replies. You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. She can get open, even in a men's game off of a pick, and she's got a quick release. She's going to jack up points. She's going to score. She shoots the ball from outside better than at least 95% of all the college men's players. Like better than 95% of them. So to think Caitlin Clark couldn't play men's college basketball, I think is ridiculous. I'm not saying she'd go start for Duke or UConn, but there's 300 teams in college basketball. She could play and start for a college team, and she'd be productive. She'd be double-digit scoring. Maybe not 41, but I mean, she's going to get open off of picks, and she's got a quick release, and she can jack it up anywhere that the men can, and better than the men. Who's a better pure shooter in the college game right now than Caitlin Clark, men or women? Just can stroke it from wherever. She's Steph Curry. No, she's amazing. And last night, no one could stop her, no one could guard her, and it just boiled down to, is she going to have a good 3-point percentage or not? And she did. She hit 47% or whatever, 9 of 19 last night. She hit 6 of 19, like a third, or 5 of 19. LSU wins. 41 points. Unbelievable. No, but UConn men and women, NC State men and women, both in the Final Four. That's pretty cool. If you're a fan of those schools, you got to just be fired up. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. A Republican House rep up in D.C., a bill to rename Dulles Airport after Donald Trump. Probably not going to pass in the House. There'll be Republicans that are against that, so it won't even go to the Senate where it wouldn't pass. But it got me thinking about best named public buildings. Love to hear from you, 766-9480. 766-9480. Louis Armstrong International Airport might be the best public name building anywhere. I'm biased. I'm a New Orleanian. I love Louis Armstrong. Love our city. But how badass is that name? Louis Armstrong International Airport. Can you think of a New Orleanian more known, more significant, known around the world? I mean, it's like our Jack Nicklaus, our Muhammad Ali. It's known everywhere. Just brilliant. So cool, too. I mean, Louis Armstrong was cool. Having his name on the airport is cool. Louis Armstrong International Airport. Just killer. As good as it gets. Hard to top. I like Eddie Robinson Stadium, obviously not internationally known, but known around the country. One of the greatest college football coaches and makers of men of all time, Eddie Robinson Stadium. Too cool. And the LSU campus, the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. Pete Maravich, come on. That's 3 public buildings we have in Louisiana with great names. Great names. Let's hit the phone lines. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. We go to Uptown New Orleans. Tommy joins us. What up, Tommy?
Corey, how are you?
Doing well. How you doing, man?
Man, I think I have to agree with you that the Maravich Assembly Center ranks up there. You watched Caitlin Clark, the female Pete Maravich, if you were last night, but there's only one Pistol Pete, as we all know, and I think that probably takes the cake for my taste.
Yep, me too. You know what kind of bums me out, Tommy? LSU's going to build a $400 million arena that's probably going to open in 4 or 5 years, apparently. I don't think it's going to be named like the Pete Maravich Pavilion or Assembly Center. I think Pete Maravich's name is going to stay on the PMAC. That building's going to be repurposed. And the new arena is going to be like the Quaker Oats, LSU Pavilion or something. I'm hopeful they'll put Pete Maravich's name on that new building, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think it'll be a default PMAC if it were. I think the fans will call it that.
I hope so.
Pays for the naming rights is going to be disappointed because everyone's going to call it the PMAC.
I hope you're right, Tommy. I hope they include it. I hope it's not the Quaker Oats Arena only, and got to have LSU's name.
I wanted to also, if you didn't mind, Corey, if you gave me 2 seconds here. If you recall, I run the Institute of Politics at Loyola University, and we have an event tonight, the annual Ed Remrick Lecture on Loyola's main campus. I wanted to let your audience know about. Really an interesting topic tonight, Corey. Really discussing the political landscape in America leading up to the 2024 presidential election. And Jonathan Martin, who you may know of, is New York Times bestselling author, and another bestselling author, Tim Miller, will be on the panel tonight discussing what the next 4 to 5 months look like leading up to the election here in November. So,
wow,
7 p.m. at Loyola's Nunemaker Hall for anyone that's interested.
And any admission fee or anything?
No, absolutely free.
And it's where again? 7 p.m. where?
7 p.m. on Loyola's main campus uptown in Nunemaker Hall, which is in the Monroe Hall building on the 3rd floor. There's signs up on campus for those that might show up. So
fantastic.
You've been kind enough to let me spread the word in the past and wanted to do so again.
No,
great show. Cool.
I appreciate it, Tommy. Anytime you need anything, please don't hesitate to call.
All right. Well, go Tigers, and we'll see you soon, Corey. Thanks,
all right.
buddy.
Thanks, Tommy. That's Tommy in Uptown joining us. Go check that out. That's going to be interesting. I may have to roll on over to that for 7 o'clock. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. 766-9480 is the phone number. That's how you can dial us up. 766-9480. Hey, if you need air conditioning or heating help, you know who to call. River City's Total Maintenance. Find them online, nolaac.com. The phone number is 841-3300. Easy to remember. 841-3300. But I think nolaac.com is even easier. And when you go to that website, nolaac.com, rest assured, you're dealing with honest folks incapable of screwing you around. Air conditioning and heating experts. They know what they're doing. And they come immediately because they know you're inconvenienced. If you need heat or air conditioning help, nolaac.com. nolaac.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Republican House bill up in D.C. They want to rename Dulles Airport after Donald Trump. That's not going to happen. Just not happening. There are too many Republicans that'll vote against it. It won't even get out of the House, much less have a chance in a Democrat-led Senate. Just a waste of time. Just a Republican senator appeasing Donald Trump. But it got me thinking about best names. Tommy in Uptown's right. I mean, Pete Maravich was just a magician with the ball, someone special. Revolutionized the game, a difference maker. Just a hell of a great name, Pete Maravich Assembly Center. And Tommy might be right. Even if they call this new building the $400 million building in 4 or 5 years when they cut the ribbon, the Quaker Oats LSU Pavilion, whatever, people may still call it the PMAC. And there's like nothing you can do about it. I mean, I remember I called it Candlestick Park, 3Com, Monster, all this stuff. I'm like, Candlestick. I just know it as Candlestick. Can't keep up with all these changing names. Wrigley Fields, like the Innovators, Wrigley Gum. They were, part of the Cubs. It's kind of a no-brainer and just locked and loaded in your head for such a long time. You didn't even think about the gum almost. But I don't know. It's just, I hope Tommy's right. If they don't name it the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, I hope the fans just call it the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's tonight? Were you there last night for the Iowa LSU game? Final Four for the women's, cranking up Friday for the men on Saturday. The Major League Baseball season has officially begun. It's underway. Premier League soccer. Why aren't you at the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant? New Orleans specialties, from po' boys to pizzas and seafood, all kind of great stuff. Old school, a mid-city mainstay. Why aren't you there for all the good food and those flat screen TVs, checking out your favorite sports action? It's in Mid-City, Iberville, corner Telemachus. You know where. Why aren't you at Katie's right now?
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right. Tuesday afternoon, Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon, brought to you by Blue Plate Mayonnaise. Bringing out the best flavor in sandwiches and sauces. Simple, time-honored recipe. Oil, vinegar, and only the egg yolks, not the whole egg. That makes Blue Plate extra rich, extra creamy. If you're a New Orleanian, it's got to be Blue Plate New Orleans mayonnaise. They've been doing it since 1927, 95 years, a New Orleans family tradition. And hey, if you're at your grocery store, you're at your Rouse's, wherever you're shopping, and you're looking for your Blue Plate mayonnaise and you can't seem to find it, it's there. You're just looking for the old label. Yeah, new look, same legendary taste, brand new label, but that great Blue Plate mayonnaise you've always loved, the good stuff still in that jar or squeeze bottle. New look, same legendary taste, Blue Plate mayonnaise. 5 o'clock power hour, brought to you by Blue Plate mayonnaise. I'm not making this up. I've honestly never, ever purchased any other mayonnaise in my life but Blue Plate. I've never, ever had in my pantry or refrigerator anything but Blue Plate mayonnaise in my entire life. I've never purchased or ordered any other mayo. That's from one Yaddy New Orleanian to another, native or official. Tuesday afternoon edition of the program. Governor Jeff Landry, 0 for 2 on this one. Jeff Landry apparently watched LSU Iowa last night and didn't see the LSU women basketball team out for the national anthem. He apparently doesn't watch LSU men or women's basketball. I don't remember the last time either team has been out for a national anthem, now that I think about it. The national anthem's played within 12 minutes of tip-off. Within 12 minutes of tip-off, Kim Mulkey's squad heads to the locker room for game prep. She has no idea when the national anthem's being played and doesn't seem to care. And that doesn't mean she's against the America, the flag, the military, the national anthem, any of that. She's worried about her ball game. Major League Baseball, I believe it was during or after World War II, decided to start playing the national anthem before ball games. Other pro sports league picked up on the tradition. Some colleges picked up on the tradition. That's how the tradition got going. It is not a law. It's not legislation. It's not required. It's an option. And if it is being played, you don't have to stand or sing or anything, and it doesn't mean you're un-American or not a patriot. Doesn't mean you don't like the military or any of this. Just means you're not standing right then and there for the national anthem. We're not North Korea, Iran, or China. Stand for the national anthem. You must sing it in unity. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense at all. And Governor Landry's wrong. Time for all college boards to put a policy in place that student athletes must be present for the national anthem or risk their scholarship. Just crazy. The players, they didn't have a choice. This is how Kim Mulkey chooses to do things. And Jeff Landry's statement was crazy. My mother coached women's high school basketball during the height of desegregation. No one has a greater respect for the sport and for Coach Mulkey. Why did he inject the desegregation comment? Just my mother coached high school basketball. I love the sport and respect it. Why the desegregation line? Because LSU's team is mostly black. And Jeff Landry's putting in a little disclaimer like, don't think I'm making this comment because it's a black team. That's him thinking. Why else would he inject that line? My mother coached women's high school basketball during the height of desegregation. It is meaningless in this application unless you have a guilty conscience that, if it were Iowa and an all-white team, maybe you wouldn't care if they were out for the national anthem or not. However, above respect for the game is a deeper respect for those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag. So he's essentially saying Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers team is disrespecting the U.S. Armed Services, the military. What does the national anthem before a ball game, standing or not, being present or not, singing or not, have to do with respecting those that serve to protect us and unite us under one flag? Mind-blowing. Injects desegregation, injects the military. Neither one is applicable at all, but very telling. Very telling. No, Jeff Landry wants to inject patriotism, religion, like you might see in Iran, religious fanatics and insane political mandatory things that you have to do. It's crazy. No, talk about government intervention. We're not Iran. No one has to stand, sing, be present for the national anthem in America unless they want to. That's the great thing about America. Governor Jeff Landry needs to understand how our country works, not just what he likes. No, extreme folks on the left and right, one thing they lack is empathy. And I'm not saying sympathy, empathy, understanding how others think. And it's not only do they lack empathy, they fully lack it. Like they're not even interested in how others think. Now, Jeff Landry, like injecting the military, like he assumes the majority of the military is conservative, that the majority of the military would be on his side on this. I'd say a lot of the military would be like, no, we're not fighting for someone to stand. We're fighting for their choice to stand or not. Fighting for them to protest if they want. Fighting for them to burn the flag if they want. That's the beauty of America. It's not easy. American freedom is tough. If it were simple, it wouldn't be such a precious thing. Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, free 2-hour delivery. So you can pick your Benjamin Moore colors online, call one of the 7 Helm Paint and Decorating locations. They'll bring it right to the job site, right to your house. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. And now 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in Baton Rouge. That's right, Tiger Town. The pros from Helm, over 55 years doing us right in New Orleans, now taking care of you. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. You go to Helm Paint and Decorating.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spots. NoAC.com, your cool spots.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread. They're open till 9:30. Outdoor dining, Lebanon's Cafe. 6 lamb chops, a little veggie medley on the side, grilled veggies, some onions and green beans. And then you still get to pick 2 Middle Eastern sides. That entree's like 20-something bucks. Half dozen lamb chops, plus lots of Middle Eastern goodies on the side, 20-something bucks. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Like I said, outdoor dining if you'd like. Open till 9:30. Yummy. You won't be disappointed. Lebanon's Cafe. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Gasson Corbin of the Sewage and Water Board calls the proposed recovery district for 2 years terribly distracting, destructive. I'm all for help from all levels of government where we ask for it and we can use it, but that concept seems very destructive. We're hoping to get Gasson Corbin on the program tomorrow or Wednesday and find out his exact take on all of this. How about UConn men and women in the Final Four? How about NC State men and women in the Final Four? Man, if you're a UConn or NC State fan, you got to be going crazy. Both men and women's teams in the Final Four. Wow, what a year. Jeff Landry, speaking of the Final Four, Elite Eight last night, Iowa LSU before the game. As usual for LSU, they weren't around for pregame for the national anthem. Jeff Landry had a little bit of a meltdown. What's that, Blue Boy? More appeasing and placating his base of voters than really a real meltdown. You're right on the money, Blue Boy. You're right on the money. What else? Thank Miss Peaches and the audience for watching and listening. Mañana, 4 p.m. Thanks, Blue Boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.